off.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. I'm John Daly, CEO of Myers Emergency Power Systems. First off, I hope that you and your families are staying safe and dealing with this global situation as best you can. Like many of you, I was looking forward to being in Las Vegas this week for Light Fair. We were very excited to be part of Light Fair this year to launch our new product line. We decided that even though it's not Vegas and we don't have our full team here with us today, we wanted to move forward and give you and talk about perhaps the most exciting time in this company in many years. Today, we are not going to introduce a new product. We are going to introduce you to an entire family of redesigned products. And on top of that, we will introduce you to the industry's leading communication system that will allow your customers to monitor and get proactive feedback on their inverters from anywhere in the world instantly. So although the virus has delayed the availability of these new products by about 2 months due to UL basically being shut down and some supplier delays, we're very excited nonetheless to introduce you to the new Myers leaner, cleaner, and smarter product line. Now, I would like to introduce Conrad Pecile, who is the Vice President of Engineering, to walk you through this new product line. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to first apologize for the look this morning. I didn't get a chance to go to Clip and Clean for about 3 months, so it's been tough. But the last new product webinar was about a year ago, less than a year ago, where we launched the LV Series 1100 and our microinverter product line. That completed a key area for us in the low power micro and mini series of lighting inverters, broadening our depth of product from 25 watts all the way to 50 kilowatts. That paved the way for this latest development that focused on our specification grade single and three-phase emergency lighting inverters, as well as connectivity options for these products. Today we will walk through the thought process, products developed, and wrap up with key takeaways to aid you when discussing new opportunities with customers. So now I'd like to get started into the presentation, going through the overview. The first item we'd like to cover is how did we get to the analysis of where we developed the product from. So a lot of this has taken over months of time, feedback from our representatives, feedback from our inside team, as well as things won and lost on orders. So all of this is analyzed, and we came up with the key 5 items that you see there. Of course, always number one is cost, which we like to refer as value to Myers. The footprint was the second item on the list. That's always another item that comes up when we're looking at wins and losses. If you end up being either an inch too small or too wide or larger, then it doesn't fit in the footprint, and we end up not being able to secure that order. The third area is in the communication section, so how it connects to the building management systems, as well as systems outside of the building, alerts, notifications to other departments, fire alarm systems. All this has become a key focus in the past several years with changing codes, as well as just additional customer expectations. Always as well expanding the power ratings, attempting to get the product line more broader, additional ratings put in, and then ease of installation and service. So this comes into play for customers, not just for the initial install, but also long-term service as well. So when we boil all that down and boil it into the individual product families, these are the bullet points that we came up with as key items that we needed to consider when developing the product. So we wanted to come out of this with the industry-leading footprint, all single cabinet designs. We optimized the power bridge to battery. And just to kind of go a little bit deeper into that, the power bridge is really defined as the power devices, the transformer, as well as the battery system that's selected with that. Those three components are key in making the size of the unit as far as how depth and how wide it ends up being, as well as simplifying the connections and also the efficiency of the system. On the three-phase product line, it fell out in a similar fashion. We wanted the industry-leading footprint. In this case, because the systems are a lot larger, a modular battery cabinet structure. And what that really means is that for simplification, we designed all the battery cabinets to house a full set of single string batteries that come with the system. So if you get a battery cabinet, we fill the cabinet with batteries. It has one disconnect means, and they're all inclusive within that cabinet. So it helps the installers when installing the batteries. They don't have to try to figure out, do I have parallel strings? How many do I need to wire in this cabinet? How many are in series? We have everything simplified to you fill the battery cabinet, and the install for the batteries is complete. Again, the optimization of the power bridge to battery, looking at those three key items and making sure we're managing that to give you the best value for the dollar in the batteries, as well as the power density of the system. And simplifying the installation and improve the serviceability, as discussed with the battery cabinets type of applications, as well as how the connections go in and out of our systems. And then the third development was in the communication connectivity. And one of the biggest keys we have with that is making sure we're compatible also to our previous Myers EPS central inverter product lines. So this is a real value, not only for new systems going in with existing older systems, but also that we could walk back into our older systems and offer value-added features like adding communication systems and bringing them up to the new century on products that can be anywhere 5, 10, 15 years old. We also have spec-driven Cloud Connect IoT platform that's future ready. So this is something we're putting in the base system today, but we also have considerations to continue to develop on this platform and can add features and functions for the future, such as the ability to be able to have the unit come back and give information on how well the batteries are performing, when the end of life is coming. So all these type of futuristic looking back type of analysis can be done as we extend this platform out. The other key area is the security features. We want to come out with the industry-leading secure system. Again, that has been another term that we hear over and over as we get more and more with the communication systems, is making sure the security features are up to the latest standards. And then we want to expand the building management system communication protocols. Now we'll go through our single-phase inverter product line. So the first two smaller modules, what we did is we changed and added a top enclosure. So this was a feature that we had on some of our systems, and we kind of expanded on that. We actually reduced the height of the system and kind of build in that top enclosure. And you can see by removing that top front of the enclosure, it gives us access to not only the power connections, but also options will be placed up there. So our customers will have one easy point with a removable cover that can wire the systems in a much more efficient manner. We added a new cabinet design for our mid-size inverters. And what that does is it has the ability, again, to have that single string in the systems, and the battery is more sized proportionally to the system. So in our older product lines, we had one large cabinet, and you might only be filling it 25% with batteries for some systems and then full with others. So we have put this mid-size system in there to improve the power density of the system. Redesign of the power bridge. and battery systems, so optimizing that, we increased our power density by about 18%. And we optimized the cabinets on all the sizes, resulting in industry-leading footprint across the entire family. This is a highlight of the system dimensions and power ratings of the single-phase inverters. Again, they're all 3 self-contained cabinet sizes, and we have the 3 different sizes as highlighted there: small, medium, and large. This shows you comparison to our old systems and our new systems, so both on power ratings as well as what the difference in size. And you can see in the small cabinet reduction was about a 20% reduction in size. The medium cabinet was about 25%, and on the large cabinet we show a 13% reduction. Now we'll cover the 3-phase inverter product line. The 3-phase inverters has the industry-leading footprint throughout the product family. In this case, we added a new cabinet design on the smaller size inverters. We redesigned the power bridge and battery system throughout the family to improve the power density up to 18%. And in this case, we have modular single-string battery cabinets, simplifies the installation and maintenance. So as well with these systems, as you can see from the smaller one, it's a smaller cabinet, but it will fill entirely with batteries as we go to the middle size and the larger size. Once we get up into the larger frames, each battery string is totally enclosed in one cabinet with its own circuit breaker and disconnect means, as well as fusing for protection. And that's all inclusive within the battery cabinet. And then we continue to add additional battery cabinets as we need more power. This shows the power sizes as well as the system dimensions for our 3-phase system, and you can see this breaks out to 4 different sizes in width based on a small, a medium, and a large size. And again, the additional battery cabinets are added for the higher power frames, kind of expanding that dimension in the width direction by adding the same size battery cabinets. This shows both the small, the medium, and the large frame cabinets. And on the small size, we realized a 31% reduction from the old family. On the medium size, we realized a 41% reduction. And on the large, it's up to a 51% reduction. Now we'd like to discuss the connectivity options that we're going to offer with our new systems. This will offer the broadest connectivity in the industry. So not only are we expanding on the building management protocols, but we also come out with a leading edge IoT Connect cloud software. On the BMS protocols, that's typically within the building itself, and it comes in a variety of different flavors. So our original units had a BACnet MSTP. But as we go through specifications, we find, depending if it's industrial or commercial, we're finding the need for Modbus in a lot of cases, the industrial protocols, as well as expansion to the TCP/IP or Ethernet drops. So the real difference between the two are the BACnet and the Modbus RTU and MSTP are done via RS-45 connection, which is a 3-wire twisted, as well as the BACnet TCP and the Modbus TCP are all over a Ethernet cable, a network cable. This provides application engineers with ultimate flexibility when specifying ion inverters in any commercial or industrial building. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about the cloud software. This is a leading edge technology that was developed in conjunction between Myers and another partner company to offer a cloud service for our systems to be connected. The cloud systems allows to manage and monitor multiple systems from a single cloud account. The users only connect to the cloud, providing the highest level of security. So there's no direct connection with inside the building. It only goes up to the cloud, and users connect at that point to retrieve the information. It monitors and records information in real time, and improves building safety and saves time with notification engine. So this will automatically provide notifications and the health of the system itself, and can alert people at any time of day, anywhere that they're located at. So it doesn't require people to go out and look at the systems and check each system, which is a huge advantage over campuses, if you have a number of parking garage maybe throughout the city. So those supervisors or maintenance heads can actually see all the different information that's available without physically traveling to each site. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about kind of the topology of how it works. Secure data is transmitted via either Wi-Fi, Ethernet, or cellular, depending on the level of security. If a customer does not want any connections to their network at all, we can provide a cellular service going out of the unit directly up to the cloud. A state-of-the-art cloud platform enables high security and remote connectivity. And on our user application, we can view the status, the data, and the alarms of all their systems in the system, as well as drill down and get detailed information about each system. And you can get notifications on the system anywhere in the U.S. Now this slide shows the UX and UI screens, and there's basically three primary pillars within the cloud software itself. The first we call the system dashboard, and that enables a quick check of all inverter statuses that is in the system. The user-centric experience design offers quick check to be able to see at any one moment all the different information about all the systems that are connected. The device details page is a drill down that you could go in for each individual inverter and see the real-time data as well as the historic data, and you can do a deep dive and analyze information about that particular system and its status. And the third pillar is the notification engine. This proactively monitors all the inverter systems and sends critical faults, trigger text or email alerts to multiple different addresses and texts. I'd like to cover a little bit about the security specifications so that if someone asks, customers are looking for this level, we'll have an idea of what to offer them or what it's all about. So the protocol that's used is MQTT, and that's a standard protocol that's used for sending analog information, and it's a way for low bandwidth systems to get a lot of information over on the network, and it goes across the transport layer security of 1.2. And really that's all about knowing who is actually sending the data, verifying that it's a user that should be able to see the data, as well as the data itself gets encrypted, so if somebody would intercept it, it wouldn't be able to be viewed directly. So it requires a key decoder to be able to undecode the messages that are provided. So that offers the data that's leaving our unit going up to the cloud a high level of security to be able to, hard to be able to break in or hack into the system. The multi-factor authentication is a typical process that's used in a lot of things that you see today, where you might sign up for a certain account and it'll say, hey, I'm going to send you a text message to your phone, put in this special keyword, and then you could get access to the account. And that's what they mean by multi or dual factor authentication. In our systems, when a system comes to site, there'll be a notification on the system that, hey, this system is equipped with a cloud connected type of architecture, and they'll have to put it in a certain mode and authenticate that, yes, they are at the system and they are able to put it in this certain mode. We'll be able to see that mode and then verify that yes, they are an accepted user and they can actually put this system online. The other two really occur at the cloud level. So it's third-party vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. And they're all ways that third-party places go in and try to hack the system and constantly continuously improve on the security up at the cloud level, so that as new attempts are made, they're kind of incorporated into the security to keep that level increasing year after year. And the encryption on the data is what happens when it gets sent out, and that is what requires the key decoder. So the data goes up, it doesn't look like just the raw data. It gets decoded on one end and then decoded back on the other end for the highest level. So these things are all specifications that we can help push in the industry for these type of systems to make sure, A, we get written in on specs, and B, we're also bringing the level up as we move on further with a lot of security concerns with emergency lighting systems. Now I'd just like to walk through and kind of give a live demonstration of the system itself, so we can walk through the individual screens and kind of point out some of the details that exist within the system. So this is the first, let me just explode that. This is the first screen you'll see when they sign in. If you're a new registrant, it'll have to say sign up for the new register, and this is where one of the levels of authentication are going on, where we'll determine that it is an accepted user, they're at a site with the right system, and that we can actually allow them to connect the system up to the cloud. Once you sign in, it'll then come up with this, we call it a system dashboard. So this is where you kind of visually see the overall systems that you have online. And the important part about this, if we look at the left side where we bring in the devices, as we load the devices on there, this is kind of a file system management, just like you have in your computer system. And so you can have all different tiers of levels. So not only will this be unique to each of our users, but within the users, so there could be a head of maintenance department that might see a campus with all the users on, and then they might dole it out in between and say that, okay, this maintenance area gets these 4 systems and this maintenance gets these 4. So it becomes a hierarchy system that will allow a head maintenance guy to split up his units, and each user that signs in would only see what they're responsible for. This dashboard is set up to give you a quick view of everything that's on there, make sure, hey, I see everything's healthy, and then you can expand on that and drill down as necessary. The next screen over is where the inverter is located. So you can see that's a map view that'll zoom in there, and it does have both kind of the overall satellite view as well as the map view. And in this case, you could actually enter. So if we go into the Manage Devices screen, that's where you set up. And you can choose a device. You can set up and make it whatever you want to call it to remember it. This is in Building 5. This is in first floor. It'll lock into the serial number. That's how it coordinates what system it is. And then there's a lat and long that gets put in, as well as the building address. That's actually what gives you the ability to have a roadmap that you see of the actual inverters where they are in the building. So it's kind of a poor man's layout, so you can put it in there and set up. So if you happen to click on that to get it, it'll take you over to a Google screen. I can do that, and it'll allow you to actually enter. So you put in the building address where it's at, and it'll actually go in there, and you can actually find the latitude and longitude of that pin, and it'll actually give you those details of where it's located. And then when you do that, you can put it back into the screen, and that's how it pins it to the location it is. So in our case, we see our building there on Commerce, and we were able to we have 4 different systems on. In this case, we have 3 that are put in there. But they show, and one is in the back corner of the building, one is in the engineering lab, and one is out on the factory floor. And so we're able to put the exact details on there so we know exactly where in the building it is. As well, if you had a whole campus of multiple inverters, you can actually put them and pin them to each building so that they know exactly which one is located where. The system-wide events down below will give you all the events that occur on there, whether it's battery charging, whether there's an alarm on the system, all that will be populated in there, and it's a historical, so it will record it forever with the highest status at the top, so whether the bars are red or green or yellow. So you can see on the left there is another tab that shows you each individual inverter, and there's a colored bar associated with it. Again, that colored bar will be green, red, or yellow depending on if there's a faulty alarm or just a warning light or everything is healthy. In this case, they're all healthy, so everything is green. If we go down into the one of the drill downs, so we could pick one of the inverters to look at, that's when you get into the device detail screen. So that gives you all the detailed information about the inverter, what the power is, your rated input output, all the key parameters, as well as the status, battery, month and year test or results, as well as an inverter event screen. So you can see there that they had different events going on. It'll log them, record them, and it'll give you a level. And the level is, severity, biggest problem being a fault, all the way down to it was just a warning label, a certain test is being done. As we scroll down, it gets into more of the device details. So it gets into what is the input power, what is the voltages that are present there, what is the battery voltage. And then you can go down and look at all the alarms that are present or not present. So that's a real-time information screen that shows and logs all the information that for each system. And as well, if you look at a three-phase system, it'll give you the same information, but of course for all three phases there's just a lot more information. So in this case you could see this is the one running in our back office, and it gives you the information. In this case we have the total output power up, and it kind of graphs the screen. So you can see the different times of when the power is less, when people aren't occupied in the building, and then as it comes in the morning, more power is being used, as well as all the details of individual phase, A, B, and C, all the voltages, currents, powers, as well as overall, as well as all the alarms. The notification screen is the third part of it, and that enables you to put in the SMS and the emails. And they're based on the alarms that you see below, where we have the kind of summary type alarm that you can get notified on all these different possible alarms that occur in the system. Okay, so now we'll go back to the additional screen, and we'd like to cover some of the, sorry, we're just getting to the next screen. Now we'd just like to cover some of the advantages of the new system, kind of a summary here of what we talk about and the benefits of it. Industry-leading footprint. As we discussed, the optimization of the power bridge and battery, so we got the power density increased by 18%, as well as the combination of adding some additional frame sizes in there and cabinet sizes to help us reduce the single-phase systems up to 25% and the three-phase up to 50%. So these are huge reductions in size, which gives us this industry-leading footprint. Simplified installation and improved serviceability. On the single phase, we have the separated, dedicated customer connection section, so it makes it a lot easier, one place to wire everything. Wires aren't dropping over additional parts and pieces, and so it just makes it a simplified connection. And we got the single battery string in a single cabinet design. So again, the simplification of, you got 10 batteries. 10 batteries all fit in the cabinet, and it makes it easy to see where they go and how to put them in. On the three-phase systems, we did a single battery string and modular battery cabinet. So again, it's just one string to wire. They're all wired the same, and you fill the cabinet and then move on to the next cabinet. So there's no confusion in where the batteries go, how many strings, what type of configuration they're wired. It's simplified and easy to use. On the communication side, we now have the widest selection of BMS connectivity options with the additions of the additional BACnet TCP/IP as well as the two Modbus type of connections, which cover all industrial and commercial applications, and the world-class cloud connectivity solution. Best practices for cybersecurity: we have the secure transfer protocol, we have encryption, multi-factor authentication, the penetration testing, as well as we use the cloud service through a big tech company. So it's all also covered through all the security that they put in places as well. Customers can manage the inverters through a hierarchy file system. The system dashboard allows quick status view of all in the inverters. We have the deep dive section where you can get the detailed information for each inverters, and the SMS or email notification for the critical alarms. So with these two offerings, we now offer the widest selection as well as a world-class connectivity solution. And I think now we'll leave it open for any questions that we can help answer about our new product line. We're super excited about it, and we hope that, you know, all the work we've put in and also all the feedback you have given us that kind of drove us to where we are today is really making the product line. So it's a really shout out to everyone who contributed across the board, from our outside guys to our customers to inside, as well as service as well. Okay. So on the questions, we're going to be emailing out answers to all of this to all the people that subscribe.
Emailing the whole presentation.
Oh, as well as emailing out the presentation. So I think at this moment we have no questions. So I'd like to thank everybody for participating and listening to our webinar today. And keep safe, and we'll be in contact soon. Thank you.